Every time you react without thinking, you pay a price. Maybe it's your peace, maybe it's your confidence, maybe it's a relationship you care about, but there is always a cost. Most people pretend not to notice. They blame stress, they blame other people, they blame bad timing. But the truth is simple: they never learned how to pause. They never learned how to lead their emotions instead of being dragged by them. And the result? They keep losing control in the moments that matter most. They say things they do mean. They overreact to things that don't matter. They let temporary emotions create permanent consequences. Here's the FOMO. The people who master emotional discipline live a completely different life. They don't crumble when they're triggered. They don't get pulled into unnecessary battles. They don't lose their peace over minor things. And they don't let the world decide how they feel. These people aren't lucky. They're trained. And you're about to join them. Don't make the mistake most people make: hearing wisdom, agreeing with it, and changing nothing. Reacting the same way tomorrow guarantees the same regrets. But choosing to learn this skill, choosing not to react, that choice creates a different future. Your future, starting right now. Welcome to the place where your mind gets sharper, calmer, and smarter every single day. Here, we break down powerful ideas on discipline, emotional control, confidence, communication, and the psychology behind human behavior. No noise, no fluff, just straight practical wisdom you can listen to anywhere and actually use in real life. If you want to think better, react better, speak better, and become the strongest version of yourself, you're exactly where you need to be. Chapter 1. Train your mind before the world tries to train it for you. Your mind is the most powerful instrument you own, yet most people let the world, not themselves, decide how it works. Every day, something is trying to shape your thinking. Social media, stress, other people's opinions, your past, your fears. If you don't learn to train your mind, someone else will. This is about reclaiming control, about choosing your thoughts instead of being controlled by them, and about building the kind of mental clarity that allows you to outsmart, outperform, and outgrow any situation you face. The core lesson is simple but transformative. Your mind is programmable. And you are the programmer, or the world is. There is no third option. Most people are not thinking, they are reacting. If someone criticizes them, they get angry. If something stressful happens, they panic. If they feel insecure, they compare themselves to others. If life gets uncomfortable, they look for distraction. What they think is their personality is actually untrained mental instinct. A reactive mind is predictable, and anything predictable is manipulable. A reactive mind gets tricked, pressured, or intimidated. It makes decisions emotionally, not logically. It gets stuck in loops of overthinking. It repeats old patterns automatically. It is controlled by impulses, not intentions. This is why many people struggle in relationships, work, communication, discipline, self-esteem, and life control. Their mind is not weak. It is simply untrained. A trained mind thinks before it feels. It observes the situation before reacting to it. Where an untrained mind says, "Something happened, now I must react," a trained mind says, "Something happened, now I must understand." This small shift changes everything. A trained mind notices the emotion, then chooses a response. It doesn't get baited into arguments. It doesn't break under pressure. It questions assumptions before believing them. It sees opportunities others miss. It understands people better. It makes decisions with clarity, not chaos. Most importantly, a trained mind is harder to manipulate, harder to offend, and harder to break. You don't wake up one day with strong mental discipline. You train it the same way you train a muscle. Every time you pause before reacting, analyze instead of overthinking, choose calm over anger, choose focus over distraction, and choose logic over emotion, you strengthen your mental circuitry. Your brain literally rewires itself based on what you repeatedly do. That means right now, in this moment, you are training your brain whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you training it on purpose or on accident? The mind becomes what you feed it. When you feed it drama, chaos, negativity, conflict, comparison, instant gratification, fear, noise, and overstimulation, it becomes anxious, overwhelmed, and easily destabilized. But when you feed it focus, silence, clarity, learning, discipline, perspective, challenge, goals, and personal growth, it becomes powerful, calm, strategic, and harder to shake. Whatever your mind consumes, it becomes. Training the mind is not a luxury, it is survival. Training your mind doesn't mean eliminating emotions. It means understanding them so well that they no longer control you. Emotion is a tool, but an untrained mind becomes a tool of emotion. You don't want to be cold, you want to be clear. You don't want to be numb, you want to be grounded. You don't want to suppress emotions, you want to master them. A trained mind feels deeply but responds wisely. Every major outcome in your life, success, relationships, confidence, discipline, self-respect, depends on one thing: the quality of your decisions. And the quality of your decisions depends on clarity of thought, emotional control, self-awareness, logical reasoning, and mental discipline. When you think better, you choose better. When you choose better, you live better. The untrained mind thinks life is against it. The trained mind realizes life depends on how you think. Here are powerful mental training exercises you can start today. They are simple, but if repeated daily, they rewire your mind for clarity and emotional strength. Before reacting to anything, a message, a comment, a problem, a disagreement, a stressful situation, pause for 10 seconds. This one habit reduces emotional reaction, stops you from saying things you'll regret, increases clarity, and gives your logical brain time to activate. This is how you stop being controlled by impulses. When you feel overwhelmed, ask, what is actually true, not what I'm imagining? Most stress comes from imagination, not reality. This question pulls your mind out of fear and into clarity. Before making any choice, ask, does this move me closer to who I want to be? If I choose this, will my future self thank me or hate me? Am I acting based on emotion or logic? This instantly increases mental discipline. Your mind becomes stronger when you deliberately face discomfort. Work without your phone for 1 hour. Sit with an uncomfortable emotion instead of escaping it. Do a task you've been avoiding. Speak up instead of staying silent. Say no where you usually say yes. Discomfort builds mental stability. Spend 5 minutes a day watching your thoughts without reacting to them. You'll start recognizing emotional triggers, mental habits, fears you didn't realize you had, and patterns you repeat automatically. This builds self-awareness, the foundation of mental mastery. For 1 week, reduce negative content, gossip, arguing, doom scrolling, unnecessary noise, people who drain your energy, and smartphones during sensitive times. Increase silence, focus, thinking time, positive learning, reading, and long-term goals. You will feel the difference quickly. When something stressful happens, ask, how can this strengthen me? This shifts your mind from victim mode to power mode. Reframing turns stress into strategy. Take a moment and ask yourself, What part of my mind have I neglected the most? Focus, discipline, emotional control, or clarity? Where do I react quickly instead of thinking deeply? What is one mental habit I want to change starting today? Am I training my mind on purpose or letting the world train it for me? Who would I become if I mastered my thoughts instead of being controlled by them? Pause, think, be honest with yourself. Awareness is the first step. Training is the next. Chapter 2. The power of not reacting: how to control any situation by controlling yourself. The most dangerous power a person can have is not strength, not intelligence, and not status, but the ability to remain unmoved when the world is trying to provoke them. Most people explode. Strong people endure. But the strongest people choose their reaction. A person who can't be provoked is impossible to control. And a person who can't be controlled becomes unshakable. This is about mastering the psychology of non-reaction, not as weakness, but as one of the highest forms of strength. You gain power in life the moment you stop giving people the power to control your emotions. Emotions rise and reaction fires. Someone annoys you and you snap. Someone insults you and you defend. Someone challenges you and you respond instantly. Someone misunderstands you and you argue. Someone pressures you and you panic. Someone pulls away and you chase. Something goes wrong and you complain. Something stresses you and you worry. In every case, it's the same trap: stimulus, instinct, reaction. Suffering begins here. Loss of control begins here. Overthinking begins here. Regret begins here. Your mind is not the problem, your lack of delay is. Look at the most respected types of people: wise leaders, calm negotiators, high-status individuals, emotionally mature partners, disciplined thinkers, strategic decision-makers. They don't react immediately. They choose how to respond. Reacting is emotional. Responding is intelligent. Reacting is impulsive. Responding is intentional. Reacting gives others control. Responding gives you control. The one who reacts first loses power. The one who stays calm controls the direction. Most people don't intentionally test you, but they do it subconsciously. They observe how quickly you get angry, how easily you get triggered, how fast you defend yourself, how deeply you take things personally, how quickly you crumble under pressure, how insecure you seem, how desperate you look for validation. Your reactions tell people everything about your strength. If your reaction is predictable, you are easy to manipulate. People can push you, provoke you, distract you, guilt you, emotionally bait you, confuse you, and pressure you, all because you haven't built emotional stillness. Non-reaction is not silence. Non-reaction is strategy. When you don't react immediately, your emotions settle. Your logical brain activates. Your perspective widens. You see things more clearly. You recognize manipulation faster. You detect emotional traps. You understand your true priorities. You make choices that protect you. Time is a shield. Every second you don't react, your decision becomes stronger. If people can't predict your reaction, they can't control you. A calm person is unsettling to emotional people. A quiet person triggers loud people. An unbothered person irritates insecure people. A patient person confuses aggressive people. A stable person overwhelms manipulative people. You don't become unbothered by pretending. You become unbothered by understanding. Understanding reduces reaction. Not reacting does mean you don't feel anything, that you're cold, passive, or that nothing affects you. It means you won't waste energy on things beneath you. You won't let anyone pull you into emotional chaos. You don't respond on their terms, only on yours. You choose clarity over conflict. You choose peace over ego. You are in control of yourself. You don't react because you've evolved, not because you've shut down. Reacting quickly is easy. Staying composed is hard. Quick reactions require no discipline. Slow, intentional responses require mastery. A trained mind sees past the insult, past the behavior, past the tone, past the trigger, past the moment. A reactive mind looks at the attack. A disciplined mind looks at the bigger picture. When you control your reaction, you show emotional maturity, psychological balance, self-awareness, social intelligence, long-term thinking, restraint, and inner strength. A person who can't control their reaction can't control their life. Your reaction is your greatest test. Master it and you master yourself. Here are powerful, practical exercises that will make you nearly impossible to provoke, manipulate, or destabilize. Whenever something annoys you or shocks you, don't show the reaction externally. This trains you to breathe, think, process, and stay centered before responding. Emotional control begins with physical control. Before reacting, take 5 seconds to breathe, 5 seconds to observe, and 5 seconds to choose. This simple delay removes most emotional mistakes from your life. When something or someone triggers you, ask, "If I react now, does it help me or hurt me?" This instantly switches your mind from emotional mode to strategic mode. Instead of reacting, stay quiet. Maintain your posture. Keep eye contact if necessary. Let them finish. Breathe slowly, then respond with clarity. Silence makes you look stronger. Emotional outbursts make you look weaker. When you feel triggered, name the emotion silently. I feel angry. I feel irritated. I feel disrespected. I feel anxious. I feel pressured. Naming the emotion separates you from the feeling. You can't control what you don't understand. Imagine the situation happening to someone else. Ask, what advice would I give them? You instantly gain clarity, objectivity, and emotional neutrality. Practice walking away. Train your mind to value peace over ego. Walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. The strongest person is the one who doesn't lose themselves trying to prove themselves. Never respond when you feel angry, offended, insecure, jealous, overwhelmed, stressed, or attacked. Respond when you are calm, grounded, clear, and centered. High-quality decisions only come from a stable mind. Before reacting, ask, will this matter in 24 hours? Will this matter in 24 days? Will this matter in 24 months? Most things fail the test. Peace wins. Use daily moments, slow drivers, long lines, rude people, annoying messages, miscommunication, unexpected problems as training grounds. If you can stay calm in the small, you'll be unbreakable in the big. Take a moment and reflect. What triggers me the fastest? Disrespect, misunderstanding, pressure, or insecurity? Do I react quickly because of ego, fear, habit, or lack of control? Who benefits when I react emotionally, me or others? How would my relationships, opportunities, and confidence change if I mastered non-reaction? Who would I become if I gave nothing and no one the power to control my emotions? Pause. Breathe. Answer honestly. The more honest your reflection, the stronger your transformation. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now let's continue. Chapter 3. Mastering the Psychology of Powerful Communication. Communication isn't about speaking more. It's about being understood, being remembered, and being respected. There are people who talk endlessly and say nothing. And then there are people who speak one sentence and the whole room goes silent. Why does that happen? Why do some voices carry weight, authority, and intelligence while others fade into background noise? The difference isn't vocabulary. It isn't confidence. It isn't charisma. It's psychology. Powerful communication is psychological communication. You don't focus on how you sound. You focus on how the listener feels. Once you learn this, your presence changes, your conversations shift, and your influence grows in every direction. Work, relationships, negotiation, leadership, everything. People trust what feels easy to understand. Your voice becomes powerful when your message becomes simple. Smart communicators don't try to sound intelligent. They try to make the listener feel intelligent. That is how you create authority without force. Use 3 strategies: short sentences, clear emphasis, and one idea at a time. When the mind relaxes, trust increases. This is why some people sound naturally persuasive. Their words flow smoothly. You can learn this. The strongest communicator is never the one who talks the most. It's the one who uses silence effectively. Most people rush because they fear gaps, but silence signals control. When you pause, the listener's brain leans forward. They give you attention automatically. Use pauses before the important point, after the important point, and to slow the conversation down. Powerful communication is controlled pacing, not speed, not volume, but control. People listen more deeply when they feel noticed. Instead of reacting to emotions, identify them. Say, "I can see this is important to you. It sounds like you're feeling unheard. You're trying to get clarity right." This reduces emotional tension, builds connection instantly, makes you sound emotionally intelligent, and increases cooperation. People open up to those who understand them. This is communication power. Weak communicators ask, "What am I going to say?" Strong communicators ask, "What does this person need to hear?" Instead of focusing inward, focus outward. Ask yourself, what's their goal? What are they worried about? What outcome are they secretly hoping for? What emotion are they currently in? When you speak to someone's internal state, your words feel custom-made for them. That creates instant authority. Your voice carries silent messages, even if your words are perfect. People don't just react to the words, they react to the intent behind the words. You can radiate supportive intent, "Here with you." Curious intent, "Tell me more." Certain intent, "This is the path." Neutral intent, "Let me understand first." Powerful communicators switch between these intentionally. They don't react emotionally, they direct the emotional tone. When someone finishes speaking, wait 3 seconds before responding. This signals respect, emotional control, and thoughtfulness. It makes your words seem deliberate and prevents impulsive responses. While the other person fills their silence with emotion, you fill yours with clarity. To sound smart, don't say more. Say something that goes one step deeper. When someone says, "It's been stressful at work," an average reply is, "Yeah, that sounds tough." A powerful communicator says, "Stress usually means something isn't aligned. What's the part that's weighing you down the most?" You lead the conversation into clarity. You take it deeper. The other person feels guided, not pushed. This is how voices become magnetic. People weaken their communication with insecure fillers. "I might be wrong, but this is just my opinion. Sorry, quick question." Does that make sense? Stop apologizing for existing. Remove the unnecessary insecurity. Just say your message, clean, direct, respectful, purposeful. You instantly sound more grounded and more intelligent. For the next 24 hours, practice speaking in short, clean sentences. Instead of saying, "I think the issue here is that things are getting a little bit out of hand," say, "The issue is loss of control." This builds verbal discipline. In your next conversation, pause before your key point, then pause after it. This creates gravity around your words. You'll feel the difference instantly. Next time someone expresses emotion, respond like this. "It sounds like something is bothering you. It seems like you want more clarity. I can hear how much this means to you." This single technique will transform your relationships. Before any conversation that matters, ask, what are they trying to achieve? What could they be worried about? What do they want to feel? You'll communicate strategically instead of reactively. Record yourself reading a paragraph and listen back. Notice rushed words, inconsistent tone, or shaky moments. Then re-record the same paragraph with slower pacing. You will immediately sound more authoritative. Ask yourself, do people listen when I speak, or do they wait for me to finish? Do I focus on sounding smart or on helping the listener understand? Do I pause with confidence or rush because of anxiety? What emotional patterns can I start labeling today? Am I leading conversations or just participating in them? The moment you become aware of your communication patterns, you gain the power to transform them. Once you master communication, you become someone people trust, follow, and remember. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now, let's continue. Chapter 4. How to never get angry or bothered by anyone. Imagine living a life where nobody can emotionally control you, where no insult shifts your mood, no criticism shakes your identity, no rude person pulls you into their chaos. Most people spend their lives reacting to tone, to comments, to behavior, to disrespect. Reacting gives people power over you. But the people who move through life with calm certainty, the ones who stay unbothered while everyone else loses their mind, they aren't born that way. They train themselves to think differently. They follow psychological principles that protect their energy. They master emotional discipline. This is your blueprint, not to suppress anger, not to pretend, but to truly reach a level where people cannot disturb your inner state. This is not passive. This is not weakness. This is emotional mastery. It begins now. You get angry when someone tries to define you. An insult works only when you unconsciously believe parts of it. To become unbothered, you must separate what people say from who you know yourself to be. When you are internally defined, external words lose meaning. Repeat mentally, "Your words describe you, not me." This single shift detaches you from other people's projections. Emotion feels instant, but it's not. There is a small psychological gap between trigger and reaction. Uncontrolled people react instantly. Disciplined people use the gap. When something annoys you, pause for 3 seconds before responding. Your brain resets. Your ego cools. Your logic turns back on. This tiny window is the difference between reacting like everyone else and responding like someone in control. People treat you based on their inner world, not yours. A rude person is revealing their frustration. A jealous person is revealing their insecurity. A loud person is revealing their fear of being ignored. An arrogant person is revealing their need for validation. Nothing is truly personal. The world doesn't show you who you are, it shows you who they are. Once you internalize this, you stop trying to fix other people's behavior and start focusing on mastering your own. You hear the words, you acknowledge the situation, but you don't absorb the emotion. Train your mind to say, "Noted." That single word replaces anger with observation. You don't suppress emotions, you observe them without letting them dominate you. This turns your mind from reactive to strategic. Anger grows when you are too close to the emotion. Creating psychological distance dissolves intensity. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," say, "I'm noticing anger rising," or "There is anger in my body right now." This small mental shift separates you from the emotion. When you are not fused with the anger, it cannot control you. This is how calm people, athletes, negotiators, and monks stay steady under pressure. Every interaction has two stories: your view and the other person's history, insecurities, stress, and hidden motivations. When someone irritates you, you're reacting to your story. But when you zoom out and consider theirs, your emotional intensity collapses. You see it's not you, it's their psychology. Understanding dissolves anger. Perspective destroys irritation. Every reaction costs energy. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most situations are not worth even 5 seconds of emotional investment. You begin to rise above people when you stop paying attention to everything. Your silence becomes your power. Your calm becomes your reputation. Your emotional budget becomes intentional. Great leaders, negotiators, and respected individuals share one trait: they remain still in chaos. The world reacts, you observe. The world becomes loud, you become quiet. The world gets heated. You stay grounded. People respect stillness because it's rare. People follow stillness because it feels safe. Stillness is power. Your emotional discipline sets the tone for everyone around you. Every time something triggers you today, pause, inhale through your nose, exhale slowly. The anger will lose fuel. This simple habit rewires your emotional patterns. When someone is rude or disrespectful, say in your mind, "Noted," then continue as if nothing happened. You'll feel the emotional grip loosen. Instead of thinking, "They're attacking me," think, "They're revealing their emotional state." This mental reframe immediately lowers irritation. Write down the emotion. I'm noticing frustration. I'm noticing tension. I'm noticing impatience. Labeling creates distance. Distance creates calm. Choose one daily situation: traffic, queues, delays, slow internet, and use it to practice emotional neutrality. This is your training ground. If you can master your reaction in small frustration, you can master it in big ones. Ask yourself, do I get angry because of what happened or because of what I assumed it meant? Are my reactions under my control or under other people's control? What patterns make me lose my calm? Which triggers can I begin detaching from today? Who would I become if nothing could shake me emotionally? The person you become when you stop reacting is a stronger version of you, a wiser version, a calmer version, a version that attracts respect and power without force. From this point on, you will begin to embody that version. Chapter 5. Train your brain to outsmart any situation. Your brain is the most powerful tool you own, but most people never learn how to use it correctly. They react instead of analyze. They panic instead of strategize. They overthink instead of observe. They rush instead of respond. Because of that, life feels unpredictable, overwhelming, and chaotic. But once you train your mind, once you understand how to break situations down, once you build the ability to think clearly under pressure, everything changes. You become the calm one in tense situations. You become the solution maker when others freeze. You become someone people rely on, someone people listen to, someone who always seems one step ahead. This is about teaching you how to develop a mind that stays sharp, calm, and strategic in any situation. This is not about being the smartest. This is about being the most mentally trained. Most people live life stuck inside their head. They feel their thoughts. They react to their thoughts. They drown inside their thoughts. To outsmart situations, you must rise above your mind, not live inside it. Don't think from within the problem. Think from outside the problem. Ask yourself, what would I advise my friend if they were in my exact situation? You instantly gain clarity, distance, and intelligence. When you stop thinking like the victim inside the situation and start thinking like the observer above the situation, your decisions become much smarter. In a fast world, slow thinkers win. Not slow as in dull, but slow as in controlled. The brain makes its worst choices when rushed. Emotional impulses, defensive reactions, misjudgment, overcorrection, ego decisions. The rule is simple. Slow your mind, speed your accuracy. Before responding, pause, breathe, analyze. This single habit makes you seem wise, mature, grounded, and unshakable. Every situation looks unique on the surface, but underneath it follows predictable patterns. Arguments follow patterns. Business problems follow patterns. People's behavior follows patterns. Stress follows patterns. Fear follows patterns. Smart thinkers don't react to the situation, they search for the pattern. Ask, what pattern am I in right now? Once you see the pattern, you know the outcome. And if you know the outcome, you can redesign the path. Pattern recognition is the foundation of intelligence. Your initial reaction is emotional. Your second reaction is logical. Most people speak from the first thought and regret it shortly after. Train your mind. Never act from the first thought. Act from the second. This principle saves relationships, solves conflicts, protects your peace, and makes you appear calm and strategic. When a situation feels overwhelming, your mind shrinks the solution space. Everything feels urgent and impossible. To escape this, use reframing. Ask, what is another way to look at this? Or if someone extremely intelligent were in my shoes, how would they interpret this? You immediately break the mental cage. A new angle appears. A new pathway opens. Your brain becomes flexible instead of rigid. Flexibility is intelligence. When people don't understand something, they fill the gap with fear, assumptions, or worst-case scenarios. Instead of reacting to confusion, ask, what information am I missing to understand this better? This shifts your mind from emotional to analytical instantly. You stop assuming and start investigating. You stop panicking and start understanding. Clarity destroys fear. Information strengthens judgment. Smart thinkers don't jump to conclusions. They ask sharp questions. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? Not what I feel, but what is the reality? What outcome do I want? What is under my control right now? What is the simplest first step? What will matter 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years from now? Questions transform confusion into clarity. To outsmart any situation, you need mental shortcuts, not emotional reactions. One is the iceberg model. Every problem has a visible part, the symptoms, and a hidden part, the cause. Smart thinkers go straight for the cause. Another is the 80-20 rule. 20% of actions create 80% of results. Don't just push harder, think sharper. Another is inversion thinking. Instead of asking, how do I succeed? Ask, how do I avoid failure? Your mind sees blind spots instantly. To move through life intelligently, you must remain mentally unshakable. This doesn't mean emotionless. It means stable. Don't attach your identity to temporary situations. If things go wrong, it does not mean you are failing. If people reject you, it does not mean you are unworthy. If obstacles appear, it does not mean you are incapable. Detach identity from events and you gain total clarity. Choose one stressful situation today. Instead of reacting, ask, if this was happening to someone else, what advice would I give them? Then use that advice yourself. Before answering any message, call, or conflict, wait 10 seconds. Let your brain clear. Then respond. When something repeats, a conflict, a stressor, a type of problem, a certain trigger, ask, what pattern is this? Identify the pattern. Change the pattern. Change your life. Write down one problem. Then write 3 different ways to interpret it. This trains your brain to escape emotional tunnel vision. For the next 24 hours, whenever something bothers you, ask, what information am I missing? You will stop making assumptions and start making intelligent decisions. Reflect on these questions. Do I think from inside the problem or above it? Do I rush decisions or let my mind settle? What patterns in my life keep repeating? What emotional reactions do I mistake for logic? What mental model can I start using today? Who could I become if I trained my mind daily? Every intelligent person began at the same point, not knowing, but they grew because they trained their mind consistently. You're doing the same. You're learning how to think clearer, how to see deeper, how to respond smarter. This is what separates reactive people from strategic people. This is mental mastery. If this audiobook is bringing you value so far, make sure to subscribe. It helps us create more content like this for you. Now let's continue. Chapter 6. How to Speak Smart. Master the psychology of powerful communication. Every day you speak, but very few people ever learn how to speak effectively. Most talk to fill silence, to defend themselves, to impress others, to sound smart, or to win an argument. But powerful communicators speak to create impact. They choose words with intention. They manage tone with awareness. They understand the psychology behind conversations. They influence without trying. They remain calm while others lose control. They know when to speak and, more importantly, when not to. Communication is the skill that separates people who are ignored from people who get opportunities. It is the skill that turns ideas into influence, the skill that makes you memorable. When you speak smart, you don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to argue. You don't need to convince anyone. Your words carry their own weight. The smartest communicators speak slowly and calmly. Rushing signals insecurity. Calmness signals control. When you speak with stability, people feel they can trust you. Your words sound more deliberate. You appear intelligent without trying. In communication, the state of your voice shapes people's perception of your mind. Slow feels smart. Calm is respected. Stable is credible. Smart speakers pause before important points. Silence makes your message heavier. It shows confidence. It forces the listener's attention to sharpen. It makes you appear thoughtful instead of impulsive. A well-timed pause is often more powerful than a long explanation. Weak communicators try to impress. Smart communicators understate. Instead of exaggerating, they say, here's something to consider. A useful idea might be this. Here's what I've observed. Understatement makes your message more believable, more respectful, more trustworthy, and less emotional. The less you try to sound smart, the smarter you sound. People don't remember long speeches. They remember organized ideas. Effective speakers break things into simple patterns. Here are the 3 key points. This comes down to 2 ideas. There are 4 steps. Structure makes you sound logical. It makes your message easier to absorb. It makes you look like someone who thinks clearly. Clear thinking creates smart speaking. People respond more to how you say something than what you say. Your tone becomes their tone. Your calm becomes their calm. Your confidence becomes their confidence. Your certainty becomes their trust. If you want someone to relax, speak with ease. If you want someone to open up, soften your tone. If you want someone to listen, speak with grounded confidence. Smart speakers lead conversations emotionally, not just verbally. Talking too much lowers your value. Talking at the right moment raises it. Smart communicators don't overshare, don't overexplain, don't ramble, and don't fill silence out of anxiety. They speak with intentionality. They choose words like currency. They remove emotional noise and leave only clarity. What you don't say is as important as what you do. People who speak smart ask questions that cut straight to the truth. What is the real issue here? What outcome are we aiming for? What do you need from me right now? What are we not considering? Sharp questions shift the conversation from emotion to logic and make you sound insightful. The right question can solve a problem faster than a long speech. Smart speakers listen most of the time. When you listen, you discover hidden intentions, you understand people's emotional triggers, you know how to respond effectively, and you avoid unnecessary conflict. When it's time to speak, your words hit deeper because they are tailored, not random. Speaking smart begins with listening smart. Arguments are won before they begin, not through volume but through framing. Instead of reacting emotionally, say things like, "Let's take a step back. Before we continue, let's clarify. What's the real goal here?" People who can control the frame control the direction of the conversation, and people who control direction control outcomes. The most powerful communicators remain emotionally neutral while others get heated. Your neutrality disarms tension, forces respect, increases your authority, and keeps you in control. When someone raises their voice or becomes emotional, you become calmer. Power shifts instantly to you. Pick one conversation today and speak a little slower than you normally do. You will sound calmer, clearer, smarter, and more confident. The other person will respond differently. Before you answer any question, pause for 2 seconds. It signals thoughtfulness, confidence, intelligence, and emotional control. This single habit will transform the way people listen to you. Whenever you explain something, try saying, "There are 3 things," or "This comes down to 2 ideas." This forces your brain to think clearly and makes your message easier to understand. Identify the emotional tone of the other person, then choose your tone based on the outcome you want. Calm if you want them to calm down. Warm if you want them to open up. Firm if you want boundaries. Neutral if you want clarity. This is emotional leadership. For one day, eliminate filler words like like, "you know," "basically," and "I guess." Speak with clean, crisp sentences. You will instantly sound more intelligent and confident. Ask yourself, do I speak from clarity or from emotion? Do people listen when I talk, or do they wait for me to stop? Am I trying to sound smart, or am I trying to communicate well? What tone do I use when I feel threatened or defensive? What would happen if I slowed down, paused, and spoke with intention? You don't need a bigger vocabulary. You don't need to be naturally charismatic. You don't need to speak more. You just need to speak with purpose. When you master communication, you gain influence without trying. You earn respect without demanding it. You become someone people remember, not because of how loudly you speak, but because of how clearly you do. From today, you begin speaking like that person. Chapter 7. The final shift: becoming the person who can handle any situation. Every audiobook comes to an end, but transformation does not end here. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You rise to the level of your identity. Everything you learned in the previous chapters, thinking clearly, staying composed, staying detached, decoding people, all of it leads to one final realization. You don't just want more control. You want to become the person who naturally stays in control. This last chapter is not about giving you new tools. It is about connecting everything into a final mental shift, the shift from practicing emotional intelligence to embodying it. When you practice emotional control, you use skills only when needed. When you embody emotional control, you live life from a higher baseline. Situations don't shake you. People's comments don't trigger you. Stress doesn't drag you into chaos. Fear doesn't freeze you. You become the one thing the world cannot move, a grounded mind. True inner strength isn't built from one skill. It's built from three forces working together: awareness, regulation, and identity. Awareness means you see what's happening with clarity. Regulation means you stay composed instead of reacting. Identity means you shift from someone trying to stay calm to someone who is calm. Awareness isn't simply noticing what's happening around you. It's the ability to understand what's happening externally, what's happening internally, and what's happening between the two. Someone says something rude. Most people jump into reaction. Awareness gives you a pause. In that pause, you can think, why am I feeling this? What is the deeper trigger? What outcome do I want from this moment? Is this worth my energy? Awareness changes the game. It gives you power over your impulses. It allows you to choose your response instead of becoming a slave to the moment. The more aware you become, the fewer mistakes you make. Awareness gives you clarity. Regulation gives you control. Regulation means you don't let adrenaline run the show. You don't let anger hijack your mind. You don't let insecurity make your decisions. You don't let fear kill your momentum. This is the moment you look at an emotional wave and instead of fighting it, you ride it. Regulation is not suppression, it's navigation. You are not forcing yourself to be calm. You are choosing a better state because it aligns with your goals. Identity is the part almost everyone forgets. It is the foundation beneath everything else. A changed behavior is temporary. A changed identity is permanent. When you identify as someone who overthinks, someone who reacts fast, someone with anger issues, someone who gets triggered easily, you behave according to those labels. But when you slowly shift your identity to I am a calm person, I think before acting, I don't get manipulated, I don't give people emotional access to me, your behavior changes automatically. Identity is the quiet internal story that shapes your entire external life. Shift the story and you shift your life. Here are 5 practices to permanently install the calm, powerful, unreactive version of you. First, the 3-second observation rule. Before reacting, pause for 3 seconds and observe. What am I feeling? What triggered it? What response leads to my outcome? This tiny habit rewires your emotional reactions over time. Second, the why does this matter filter. Every emotion should pass through one question. Does this matter in 5 minutes, 5 days, or 5 years? Most things fail this test. When they do, they lose their power over you. Third, silent power training. Take one conversation daily and practice being comfortably silent. Silence creates mystery, authority, emotional stability, better listening, and stronger presence. When you train silence, you stop being controlled by the urge to respond. Fourth, choosing emotional distance. Identify one thing or one person that drains your mental peace. Then ask, how can I create distance without drama, less time, less response, less energy, less emotional access? Distance is not coldness, it is protection. Fifth, the identity affirmation loop. Every morning, remind yourself, I do not react fast, I choose calm, I don't absorb other people's chaos, I stay grounded, I stay logical under pressure. These statements don't just motivate you, they reshape your self-image. To close this audiobook, ask yourself, who do I want to be when life gets hard? Not when life is peaceful, not when people treat you well, not when things are in your control, but when someone disrespects you, someone misunderstands you, you fail at something, things don't go as planned, emotions rise, and your ego gets challenged. What version of you shows up? That answer is your future identity. And now you have the tools to build it. You made it through this audiobook. That alone says something about your character. It means you're not someone who wants shortcuts. You're someone who wants real transformation. Remember, a strong mind is built, not gifted. Emotional control is a skill, not a personality trait. Calmness is a superpower available to anyone who trains it. Power comes from choosing your responses, not reacting to provocations. Peace comes from mastering your inner world. You don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to argue to be right. You don't need to react to matter. You simply need to stay grounded. Carry these lessons everywhere you go. If this audiobook helped you, go back to the chapters again when needed. Repetition creates mastery. This is the end of the audiobook, but the beginning of the new version of you. Your mind is not the same anymore. You have become someone who thinks clearly, acts wisely, and handles life with calm, quiet confidence. And that is the ultimate power. This brings us to the end of this audiobook. If the insights in these chapters helped you think clearer, stay calmer, and become stronger, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to create more powerful audiobooks just like this. Audiobooks that help you grow, control your emotions, strengthen your mind, and build the life you deserve. Remember, transformation doesn't happen in one day. But it does happen when you feed your mind the right ideas consistently. Replay the chapters whenever you need them. Apply the lessons. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and keep becoming the strongest version of yourself. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next audiobook.